Happy Thursday on a Wednesday, class. So I'm getting this video out to you early. Normally this would publish on Thursday morning, but because of this upcoming storm and just this uncertainty with the weather, I wanted to get the video out early. So a couple of things. First things first, I have updated the due date for the brainstorming and thesis statement worksheet. So if we click into week 2 where we are, first of all, you can see I drew a line through the Thursday due date, and it's now due Sunday. That gives everybody plenty of time to get that work in. And also rest assured, I am going to be grading those reading responses. I kind of get my grading caught up here in the next day or two. So that'll happen. But let me get back to the announcement for today. So what you're working on right now is your brainstorming and thesis statement. And I had a couple of questions on the brainstorming worksheet, and hopefully those questions got answered in terms of how to answer those questions. I'm going to go ahead and click into, let me go ahead and go into week 2. So the question really had to do with how do you answer question B, asking you to do some brainstorming. And bottom line is I was just asking you to use any of your pre-writing techniques, whether you wanted to list, brainstorm, free write, outline, anything to get details down. So that pre-writing phase, like you learned in your Monday announcement, is all about getting information onto the paper. Without writing your work down, you have to start somewhere. So that's what the pre-writing is all about. And today what I really want to talk about is the thesis statement. So let me go back to the announcement. So the thesis statement is the statement that encapsulates in a single sentence or two what your essay is about. You're going to give the reader information on what they should expect from your essay. So for your type of essay, it's an expository, descriptive essay. You are going to tell your reader, first of all, what the topic is, and then you're going to give your 3 places. So I wrote a sample thesis statement for you to kind of use as your guideline. So here is what I wrote. Some of the most important places of my life so far have been my beautiful back porch that I've always dreamed of having, my office on campus where I can get work done, and my car which takes me on trips to see my children. So what you'll notice about this thesis statement is that, first of all, it sets up the purpose of the essay. So the purpose of this essay is for you to tell the reader about 3 important places. So you need to set up, first of all, in that first portion of the statement, that you're writing about 3 important places. You need to say 3 noteworthy places, or 3 of my most favorite places. Somehow in that first part of that thesis statement, you need to identify what you're doing. Next, you want to name the specific places. You want to make sure it's specific enough that you're not just going to say room. You're going to say my bedroom, or my bedroom in my parents' house. You want to give enough information so as the reader reads that about that place, that reader can then start to do the work of envisioning that place. And you want to give one little sort of context clue as to why they're important. So in my example, I say my beautiful back porch. So I'm descriptive about my back porch. And then I say that I've always dreamed of having. So I begin to sort of tell the reader why this is important and a little bit about what this porch means to me. Same thing about my office. So I don't just say my office, I say where it's located, and I say a little hint as to why it's going to be important. And the same goes for the third example, my car. So I set up for the reader now knows, oh, I kind of know what I'm going to read. I'm going to read, the next paragraph is going to be all about this back porch. And then I'm going to read all about this office. And then finally, I'll hear all about the car. And again, why is it important? That is super important. All right. So there is an outline worksheet in this folder, in this week 2 folder. It's not required to be turned in, but I've included it because a lot of students like to use outlining. I use outlining. I think outlining is probably one of the most useful pre-writing tools. It helps you get a visual organization and helps you start to identify where you still need to do some work in terms of gathering information. And then don't forget about reading your reading selection so that come week 3 you are ready to do that reading response. And finally, I have this little video. It's kind of a silly little video in some ways, but it's got a lot of good information. It's very useful information, and it's very well organized and well presented. So it's more than about thesis statements. It's about the expository essay in general, which is again what you're writing. You're writing the descriptive expository essay. So watch it. It's 6 minutes. It'll give you good information. All right, then finally, here is a little bit more discussion about thesis statements. So watch this video. Feel free to email me. I'm going to have my computer with me at home, so I'll be, monitoring, doing grading, doing all kind of stuff. At this point, Coastal's still in session, but I'm going to keep a watch on things, and I will be working on your class. So feel free to email me.